Monster kill!
Battle begins.
Very important best of 3. It is a lower bracket match, which means the loser will be eliminated. What do you guys think about the draft from each side here? Please take your time.
That's you, Ali. I'm the idiot here.
I like RNG's draft. I thought for the last pick, they should pick something that sort of gives them sustain. I was thinking LC because it's a bit easy to leave him alone. I think the Calder pick sort of accomplishes the same thing. This hero, even if his lane... Oh, it might be a fight, though.
Yeah, we can see the concussive shot onto Chalice. He's stuck on the other side of Roche here, and that is going to be a super easy first blood for Ramsey. He's playing the Bloodseeker in game number 1.
That's a really big first blood. If you click on Ramses, he actually has the Blades of Attack build, which means he's going for really fast phase boots. I really like this build because he's not going to get pressured. He knows this against a Calder Earth Spirit. The idea of RNG's lineup is like you want to take some long fights. Like you're going to have a Winter's Curse to disengage some BKB or Rupture. And if you look at Outsiders' lineup, they're very committal. They want to burst targets on some Rupture, some Tiny Toss with Skywrath. So this game will sort of come down to whether RNG can like sort of disconnect their team fight with some puck or disengage with some curse, and whether Outsiders will run them over in the fights.
You said you liked RNG's draft as we were watching it.
Yeah.
Does the Coddle change that for you?
No,
I don't know if I'm...
I think the Coddle idea is good. Like, it's some sustain, and honestly, he's sort of an offlaner that you can leave alone. Like, we had some experience playing versus, like, Zai's Coddle, and I feel like he sort of just runs around. Like, he's just really fast, and he's going to get some farm. Worst case, he stacks in camps and just farms in jungle camps, and it's pretty decent on Coddle. Also, having this extra sustain for his Bloodseeker is really good, because heals are just good versus the Thirst.
I guess also from mid lane, RNG, they've got a puck, they have Earth Spirit, they have Wyvern as a 5, so it's not like they really need any more disable. I think their disable's like already quite good. I mean, I feel like puck like almost always solves disable issues in general. It's just like such an OP hero.
Yeah, for sure. And Coddle is like, he's not the worst at catching heroes. Like, you just press your second spell on them, and you'll buy some Force Staff, you have a lot of cast range. I also like Force Staff is really good for Skywrath, so that's a thing.
And going back to the Keeper of the Light, since that was your bread and butter as a player, and I mean, not to give anything away for Tundra, although you guys aren't in the tournament. RIP on that, by the way. Apologies. Do you have a preferred position for Coddle these days? Like, if you were playing, I guess you'd be position 4, so that actually answers my own question. But do you have a position that you think he thrives in the most?
Honestly, I think how Liquid play him is actually really good. I guess they're
Offlane? Are you serious?
They play it 3-4 flex. So it's just the hero's not that easy to deal with, and I feel like people have gotten pretty good against playing against a mid Coddle, which is why we haven't seen it that much this tournament. And the counters in the safe lane like aren't that robust yet.
As we see DM and Yamich taking a lot of damage from X-Nova's Arctic Burn in this early stage of the game. And how do you think the Ana Terrorblade will fare this game? Does it feel like a good TB game in general?
Yeah, I think it's overall a pretty good TB game. Like, he just has to worry about getting bursted by one tiny combo, and after that, I think it's sort of free. Like, a lot of people allow him to hit things, right? Like, honestly, the biggest thing with TB is, like, when you pop meta, you're committed to the fight. So if they can disengage for you or cut your meta a bit, then the hero can feel really bad. But in a game like this, you have, like, Puckho, Earth Spirit, Coddle, even some Winter's Curse. And the other thing is, if they commit on Terrorblade this game, like, the Winter's Curse will allow him to get Sunder off, and I think he should feel pretty free for that. He's also, like, Outsiders, their map pressure is not that good, so I feel like the lanes for RNG should be very good, which should allow them to get whatever fights they want. Like, they have some TB and Coddle.
Yeah, Bloodseeker is such a strong laner. I feel like I feel like Bloodseeker in general right now is very strong and underrated. And I think that we're like throughout the tournament we've seen more and more Bloodseeker, and where a lot of people think that Bloodseeker is strong is in the early game and playing fast, and obviously his laning is great because if you win the other lanes, then Bloodseeker wins his lane because he just runs super quickly. But man, late game Bloodseeker with the Shard and with Basher, Maelstrom, like he does so much damage. And then the 2 Rupture charges as well. Like before, you had to specifically choose to go for this like utility double Rupture build with like the Refresher and the Aghanim Scepter, and now you just get it. You go normal carry build, it's like, okay, well also now you're an offlane Bloodseeker too. So I feel like in these late game scenarios where Bloodseeker would have previously not looked good, he looks amazing.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this hero is pretty strong right now. I think how they use it, like they picked on 23, and RNG have a counter pick, but there's not really a lot of heroes that beat him in lane, right? So you sort of get this 23 carry who, even though you don't have to counterpick, is going to win his lane. It's really valuable. I was thinking the hero scaling is good. Like this game, I think he should probably go for like some, like the items you said. You get the Maelstrom, you get the BKB, and then the Basher and the Shard. And I think he should get like some Blink Refresher. And he should just look to hunt this Caudle and like just kill supports this game. I think if he does that, and I think he's going to have a really good game because of the first one and his build. Like I really like this phase boost rush from him. It's going to look good for him.
As we are now unpaused.
Oh, Kaka missed the pull.
Yeah, Kaka.
Blame the pause.
Blood right. He's going to get slowed a bit beforehand, so this might be a kill. He's going to attempt to TP out.
Oh,
they
they
not
actually,
have the damage, but I thought they
might have gotten him actually if they kept right-clicking. Ramses is underestimating how much his Blades of Attack is actually doing.
Yeah, I think they had him too, but it was pretty close to be honest.
Well, Ramses is playing and we're not, so give him the benefit of the doubt there perhaps.
This is still really good
head and shoulders as well, which I think
it's very important. Yeah, Owie,
do extra damage.
Owie, what do you have to say about head and shoulders?
No strong opinions, but
oh, Ana getting quite low. Is actually going to turn this around after Yamich as he is in his meta form, but it's going to be a trade, and Yamich is the one with the XP coming out of that, so Ana only with the gold exchange. And he gets tipped right after.
That's meta down too. He popped it right before he died, which is probably why the tip is happening. I feel like Outsiders, their chance to win this game is actually the fact that both their side lanes are looking really good. Like this Terrorblade versus DP matchup, I feel like it's pretty volatile. And Marcy versus Wyvern, like if the Marcy does what just happened there and you like kill the Terrorblade when you use meta, then DM can actually take over this game. He already has 2 no talismans.
Yeah, he's sitting on almost 70 base damage. With meta being down too, I feel like DM can just run at him when he has 2 Spirit Siphon charges. They might even go
over here.
Oh yeah, here they go.
Going to rebound. And X-Nova is their target right now. He's going to get disposed back into the creep wave with the Spirit Siphon from DM. He's getting chased by Ana. Let's be a little bit careful. Cryptstorm comes out as well as X-Nova just trying to limp away, but it's not going to happen. DM gets credit for that one. Now they can turn their sights to Ana. Probably no kill coming from this, but gets down to half HP just after TPing.
Yeah, and he has to buy his own tangles and more regen on Terrorblade. Terrorblade this game, he just really wants to get to treads and make sure he can farm fast this game. But the death and these trades are really delaying him. They even have some double wave pushing in. They're going to pressure him under tower here.
Also, because of how this lane is going, as they go on Ana again.
Yep. He's going to get disposed again. Cryptstorm to follow. And he does have a couple tangos, but it's going to be a slow regen for him.
I feel like he really needed to buy a solve there instead of a tangle. Oh, he's actually getting solved by X-Nova.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts? I mean, I haven't gotten to talk to you, Curtis, about the changes of the health salve, but from like a team perspective, how big of a change do you think that was? Like Jenkins was saying, it might be the biggest change in the last few years.
I mean, last few years we had like outposts and neutral items and stuff like this. Right?
Since the neutral items patch,
okay.
It's like since those big patches.
It's definitely big. It affects how aggressive you can play on carry lane, but honestly, I don't think it's that big. Like when I play support, I just buy a lot of tangles, and you just constantly give your carry 2 tangles, and they're just gonna buy like 1 solve. Before you'll buy themselves, and they buy 1 tangle. So
it's like flipped who goes for what regen, right?
Yeah,
like the supports go tangos, and the core goes a salve.
I think it's generally a bit more painful for cores because holding a salve is sort of like annoying, but it's not so bad, I think.
As Chalice able to TP out here, do you think that it's kind of shifted the meta a bit into picking maybe some more healing type heroes, getting a little bit extra value, like we see Warlock now,
bottom here, though.
And Nova. It's a Spirit Siphon there, but Kaka with the roll, not able to connect on DM, and he's just going to use this opportunity to TP. Yamich, on the other hand, will be brought down. So nice rotation from Kaka, at least getting 1 kill out of it.
Yeah, now nobody's bot lane, getting all of this XP. I suppose Marcy will be alive and able to TP, but he might go fill GPK's bottle. DM is walking there. Does have his boots, so he'll get there.
As for your earlier question, Sunsfan, I feel like I don't know. I've heard a lot about this. Like this healer makes up for the solve, but I'm not too sure about it, to be honest. I feel like the heals keep you topped off, but if you were gonna need a solve, like you still sort of need to have an emergency one, anyways. I feel like these heroes are just sort of strong, and there's a lot of like long range poke in the meta right now, and these healers help with that.
Okay, then I get my follow-up question is, what about the BKB change? Do you think that's had a huge impact? Oh, actually,
yeah, that one's big.
Toss, Puck Coil comes out. Kaka, he's going to get healed up a bit by X-Nova. And it looks like the target is going to be Yamich here. Illusory Orb is there. And it looks like Somnus and company will be able to get that kill.
Well, I like what Anna's doing bottom here. He stacked the camp for himself and he's pulling it. It's really good because he got left alone because they're trying to make these mid moves. And Anna, I think he's always been really good at like sort of maximizing what he can get out of the lane. Like he doesn't always win his lanes, but he always finds a way to get enough.
Yeah, and to be clear, he pulls, but he doesn't right-click the creeps. Like it's not a farming pull; it's to pull the lane back, right?
Yeah, like we see here, like after this camp, I mean, he's sort of tanking for his range creep, but the lane will sort of reset and it'll just be right in front of this tower.
Yeah.
So usually he would sort of get kicked out of lane now. Like DP's going to hit level 6, he's going to exo. But honestly, he can take this next wave, push it out really fast, and then go farm with illusions. And because of this lane position, they're even thinking of rotating here. This one pull, it like sort of changes the dynamic of how the bot lane's going to be played.
Anna's still level 5. As you said, DM's Exorcism is available to use now if you want.
Go.
Rebound initiation onto Ana. And he's going to get disposed and silenced and brought down easily as Outsiders now going to pressure this tier 1 tower.
Even with the good lane position, still he's just too squishy to the magic damage that they have.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a mistake there. Like I feel like he should just use his illusions to push it out and stay in the XP range. But it was a good move from Outsiders. Like it's not easy to predict these moves because they also had a wagon on top that Radiant felt like they had to deal with because this Bloodseeker has so much pressure. So they're sort of like guessing where the enemy's going to make these moves, and they sort of predicted wrong, and Anna ends up dying there.
Somnus has his treads, looking for the Witchblade, so pretty standard build so far from the Puck. As we're looking at his 3k net worth right now versus GPK's basically dead even.
Chalice is headed mid to get the rune for his as an offlaner. That's kind of cool. And Somnus, by the way, doing very well versus Tiny, which is supposed to be a counter.
I feel like Puck's okay in this lane, to be honest. Like Puck can even win this lane. And Chalice, like, he just made a good play there, right? Like, he's stacking the hard camp for himself at 8 minutes anyways. So instead of getting, like, one Ancient stack, he's going to check the rune and secure that for Puck. And this is a really important rune, too. This Illusion rune is huge because now he can play aggressive despite there being an enemy Skywrath.
Yeah, that little Dispel action. One of the coolest changes they've made it to the runes.
Even against Marcy, just disjoining the Dispose is pretty nice. You can get your silence off. Yeah, I think the Illusion change was a really nice one for mid laners. There's not just like this useless rune on most heroes.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. This rune was way too weak before, right? And now you're sort of happy when you see it.
Yep, GPK, on the other hand. We talked about how Puck and Tiny are basically even in net worth. I mean, how fast does he want to go Blink? He already has his treads, and he's already 1,400 into it, so...
He's rushing it, yeah.
Be pretty damn fast.
I think it's really good to rush. Like, if you look at his other cores, he has a lot of damage on DP and some damage on Bloodseeker, and he has a Skywrath, right? Like, he doesn't need a Cycle Saber for any purpose. All he needs to do is, like, toss him back or combo him on spot, and Skywrath will kill him. I like these moves, too. Like, GPK, he's rotating out a mid, so that Skywrath can take mid, and then he can get EXP.
Looking for Ramses, but not able to fully connect, so Ramses will be well aware of the rotation here from RNG.
Chalice is not exactly the best ganking partner with him.
Does have a horse, though, which does trample.
Yeah, that's right. What do you think about trampling, Owie? What do you think about that?
It makes me think of the Centaur patch where his ulti's stunned. Remember that one? Like,
that's when I was 6th in the world on Centaur.
Yep.
That must have been a really good patch, then. Like,
Dude, I love it.
Suns fan he was out of Herald on that patch.
That's really impressive. I feel a bit weird that Outsiders, like, they won this top lane so hard, and then they sort of let the Bloodseeker get kicked out for free and lose their tower up there.
Yeah, that tier 1 tower did fall as Somnus able to get off the coil. It's going to snap pretty much right off the bat, and a kick to the high ground. And that's going to be a nice kill onto Yamich.
I guess my question is, if you think they gave it up for free, like, do they send somebody to hold the lane, or do you think they have to make a move up there because they don't really have a great hero to like sit and hold a lane, right? Their supports are Marcy Sky.
They definitely don't. What I was thinking is, like, instead of this second rotation to bottom to the DP where they sort of secured this tower, or even instead of the first one, like, they had the wagon top and they did end up killing the TV, so it's a really good move. But I was wondering if, like, instead of that, it might have been a better play to rotate to top with this Bloodseeker Rupture and Wagon. And I feel like this Kato would have lost his tower there, or they would have forced a lot, and DPU could have pressured bottom alone anyways.
X-Nova does have Curse, but no backup here to try to get a little backstab action on DM and Outsiders.
Oh, there's the Blink.
And this is going to be the Blink reveal for GPK.
Yep. No Skywrath level 6, though, so they're relying entirely on GPK's damage for this, which he's very high level, so depending on who they get.
Kakas, I don't know if this is luck or what, but he's going to be tanking the gank. It actually ends up been kind of fortunate for RNG that that's all they lose.
Yeah, I think Ana would have died to that.
Yeah, that was for sure on purpose by Kaka. That was a really good play. He's just sort of hanging around in between the Kato and Terrorblade and sort of stopping them from going for either hero. Ana's sticking around though.
He sure is.
They can't kill him.
I can't
Not
quite
well.
close the gap here.
Hakoda did get level 6 from that play though, so now RNG has to be really careful. Like pretty much any hero can die.
I really like this Scarith build as well.
Oh, they're going for it.
Ancient Seal.
No avalanche toss yet.
It's not cool now.
And Kaka TPing, filling up the bottle.
He's just rushing this Veil, and then they will have damage to burst anyone, even if you combo in place or anything.
Oh, he's going to get tossed into the ult from Hakoda, and the silence to follow. Just a couple more right clicks will suffice, but he's going to live. Somnus does with very little HP, and instead Hakoda is the one that dies. Ramses gets off his Rupture with the Blood Right to follow. And Yamich looking to finish off Kaka in style here. And so that's going to be a 1-for-1. There's a nice toss back from GPK. Avalanche to follow as well. X-Nova on the other side of the river. Gets a curse off, but really to no avail. And even an Exorcism pop to try to pressure this tier 1 mid.
He's trying to defend it on Chalice. He actually does have Spirit Vessel on the Coddle. No charges yet, of course. That'd be very valuable against this DP right now.
Yeah, and you can sort of see, like, this Kato, he had sort of a rough lane, but he sort of just stacks up the jungle and does his thing. And he's still really strong right now. Like, you cannot run into this Kato. This is sort of one of the reasons why I like RNG's lineup, because I feel like the Kato can slow down the push. That being said, Outsiders up 3k, and like their position in the game is good. I think it's better than expected in this game.
And we're going to see a smoke here from RNG. As Somnus leading the way. Not quite done with his Witchblade. DM would be a very nice kill. Orb is coming, but he's going to spot it. Coil does connect. Now Chalice on the high ground, but you have Kaka coming in, gets the kickoff as well. And this looks to be an easy cleanup for RNG. And that's a valuable kill for sure.
Now, beautiful execution from RNG there.
And they're going to go to the enemy triangle now.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah, just running and invading. It's like we get this kill and... Did they block the camp? No, they're just sentrying. But still invading, just like pressuring us close to the enemy base as possible. I like this a lot.
So with Somnus going for the Witchblade, what do you guys want to see next? Because is this Ancient Seal, is that a big issue? I mean, the instant silence is not something Puck wants to really itemize with. We've seen Yules in the past. We've even seen BKB this tournament, actually.
I feel like there's nothing he can really itemize versus it other than some Sanjakaya.
So just the status resist. Is Yamich able to TP out here in the top lane?
Because he's going to get tiny comboed anyways. Like, he should be playing to survive that.
Now, Ramses, a recipe away from BKB.
Oh, Blood Rage Tiny. He's going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, but I believe RNG have an idea this is happening. The roll is successful onto the sky, and Koda is dead. This is his ult, but relatively low cooldown.
I think the smoke just timed out there, I'm pretty sure. Like, it just times out and they're standing directly on a ward. Very unfortunate for Outsiders.
I mean, we're only 14.5 minutes in, and Outsiders up, well, it was just 3k, went down to 2, so a high 2k net worth lead right now. And is this kind of what's needed against a Terrorblade to get off to a good start to try to prevent him from getting to that ultra late game, or?
Yeah, for sure. Against Terrorblade Puck Kato, like, you definitely want to win these lanes. I like how Outsiders have now positioned themselves on the map. I felt a bit before this that they weren't utilizing the enemy jungle that well, but now DP is down here, even with some Tiny and one support, and they're going to like farm all the enemy jungle and their Ancients, and they should be like trying to place a ward in their own jungle and looking for moves around there. I'm just sort of clicking on it. I'm not too sure. I think guests are waiting for the BKBs on DP and Bloodseeker.
Bloodseeker, yeah.
Yeah, once they get those, they can sort of actually invade the Terrorblade's jungle and triangle. Before that, it's sort of dangerous.
Yeah, they had like the one chance with the blink reveal on Tiny, but after that point, I feel like there's almost always going to be a support there breaking.
You can kill Somnus here?
Oh, we're going to see a silence. Somnus is in a lot of trouble, getting Spirit Siphoned as well. The Avalanche to follow. He gets off the Coil and the Phase Shift, and it looks like he's going to Illusory Orb away and be just fine, but the same cannot be said for GPK, so completely punished from the side of RNG is... Doesn't look like they're going to get any more on top of that, but still, the fact that Somnus is able to live, pretty big.
That's 2 times. If Somnus was down on Strength Treads, he's dead. 2 times. He just knows when he's in those dangerous positions. Stay on Strength Treads.
I feel like the Skyros should be with him there. Like, I'm not too sure what Zakoto is doing. He should want to play in the enemy jungle with his Tiny.
Yeah, Hakoda is Spirit Vesseled right now. And this tier 1 tower is going to take a bit of damage, but should be able to defend.
Hakoda even has max Ancient Seal too. So yeah, I think.
Oh wow.
I think you're totally right. Max Ancient Seal Veil, like this is entirely to set up for to make Tiny stronger, right? So you definitely want to play together.
Ramses has his BKB now, and we'll see if that's going to be go time for Outsiders.
DM, yeah, he also has his.
They have a smoke on the Marcy. We'll probably see them push out one more wave and a smoke into the enemy triangle, try to kill this Terrorblade, who has just used meta.
Okay.
Yamich almost has his blink. Actually, he just picked it up on the.
Oh wow, he's pretty farmed actually.
Exo popped to take this tier 1 that's at half HP. So Outsiders obviously committing for this. Is GPK onto the high ground trying to find somebody, but RNG ends up dodging him here. So the tier 1 tower looks to be Outsiders with no defense mounted from RNG. But the roll-in, Kaka, he's going to get the kick off, and GPK stuck on the cliff. That is the worst spot to be on the map, but the Mystic Flare might be able to trade Kaka, and they do, but again, GPK is the position 2 for Outsiders, and they're going to have to hightail the hell out of this fight.
That was amazing. What a play from Kaka. I think, honestly, like taking a mid tower is never bad, but I feel for like how strong Outsiders are. They have this double BKB Blink Marcy timing. They probably should have gone for a bigger play than just hitting the mid tower from the front.
You think they want Ana?
Yeah, I think so. Like if they got any kill into the mid tower. Or
Somnus, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you have these big timings, I feel like it's a bit too casual, you know? Like you get Blink Dagger 2 BKBs. This is probably your biggest power spike in the entire game. And if you're just walking into vision showing your BKBs, I feel like it's not justified.
Yep, Coil, GPK, he just TP'd in after dying, and if he dies again, this would be absolutely disastrous. Able to dodge the Illuminate, but he's going to get Blinding Lit back into the fray with that Spirit Vessel still applied. He's just going to go down again. Yamich a little bit late. He gets off the Dispose on a Somnus, but he's going to phase shift, be able to orb away, but looks like he is ruptured. Still has the orb to jaunt to again. Needs help from Chalice. Gets off his own to Ramses, pops the BKB, another phase shift. And Ramses having to waste a BKB charge, and the Rupture now dissipating from Somnus, who's pursuing even further as Kaka leads the way. Gets off the vault. A DM with the silence. That might put this to an end, although Somnus was not silenced, so the orb coming out again. Obviously no coil quite up yet. So again, Outsiders punished. And GPK, that is 2 very costly deaths. You can see his net worth is just... I mean, it's below average based on just this game alone. Looks like Hakoda is going to get dropped too.
You took that jape too far.
Yeah, I feel like they sort of missed their timing on Outsiders. They need to find a way to take a really good fight in Vision and like burst a key hero now. It's a bit... I know they're like still at 1k gold, but I would feel a bit desperate if I were them.
Kaka looking for Ramses. He's going to get the successful stun and the kick back out. And like you said, no BKB, which spells the end for Ramses again. And now Somnus, still with that coil. It's actually going to get snapped here from Yamich, who's silenced. And he's just going to tick down ever so slowly. Double kill for Somnus. And
they're going to go Roche.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes, I want to say, have been all RNG. And into the pit they go. Ana finally making an appearance. I literally forgot there was a Terrorblade in this game.
I like that.
Powerful.
I like that combo. Chakra Magic with Earth Spirit. He's refreshing the roll, so he's rolling in and then chaining the stun himself. It
is really good. I mean, you effectively have 5 actives, right? I think it gives you more stones too. I mean, it doesn't refresh your ulti, so four things that Chakra's refreshing. The Terrorblade Kodo combo is also really nice. Like you get the meta cooldown, you get more illusions on the map. It's a 3 Kodo, so it's not quite the same as the support one. You can just follow this guy around. But it's still really strong. I think we'll see it as the game gets later. You just keep giving him more meta.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Kaka already well into a BKB for himself. That is... that's going to be a really fast one. Is Hakoda? He's dead.
Yeah, I don't even think he needed help for that, but look at Chalice. He's building a sheep stick, and he's actually pretty damn close to it.
Yeah. 1,000 from the Mystic Staff, and then just the Void Stone afterwards.
Yeah, and as you were mentioning, Sunswan, Somnus has actually opted to go for the Eo Scepter. So okay. I thought he'd go for the Kaya Sanj, but he thinks that as long as he can't die to the Skywrath or DP Silence, then he's going to be in pretty good shape. Honestly, I think it might be a decent read because a lot of the times when you buy Eos on Puck for silences, there's something that like catches you when you go on the ground, like some Mars Spear or Void Sphere Remnant that you can't phase shift after, but this game there's nothing like that. He can always phase shift and blink away after the Eos.
Yeah, it's just kind of Avalanche, but you can. I think.
Do you know how it works?
I think you can phase shift it, right?
I feel like you can phase shift it, but I feel like nothing you feel like in Dota is true. So
it's true. Well, it's good. It chain stuns you, but still on intervals, right? Now it does fully chain stun you. Obviously, barring BKB.
Avalanche is a dumb spell, not affected by status resist randomly. Just chain stuns when I feel like it completely shouldn't, but sometimes not chain stun because sometimes you can BKB in the first ticks.
What do you mean it's not?
Yeah, sometimes you can't. You're right. What is with that?
I don't know. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. When you
And jump
initially
spin
cast
and rage and
yes,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know how the spell works. I've tested it so many
What do
times.
you mean by it doesn't, like, status resist doesn't affect it? What does that mean? Just because
Like
there's so
if
many
you have a
stuns
Sun,
layered on
no,
top?
it just doesn't do anything.
It literally doesn't do
Like
anything.
you know how the stun bar's going down? It's fake news. Like it just doesn't do anything.
Really?
It's really annoying because normally
I didn't know
you
that.
could get avalanched, and if you had a Sanj, you would, like hypothetically you'd be able to
You could
BKB.
BKB
Right.
during
Because
the.
yeah,
Right,
but you
right.
can't. It just does nothing.
Bro, I've been building Sanj versus Tiny, thinking it's the
Well,
counter.
we just gained a lot of MMR just now. As we're going to see, a little initiation here. Dispose into the Mystic Flare. Curse is coming out as well. And this looks to be the death of Kaka, although he gets saved temporarily. Diem with the BKB. Yamish looks to be the trade, so it's a 1-for-1 to start. There's a nice Sunder coming out from Ana, focusing on Diem, but the Avalanche keeping him in place. And Ana's getting extremely low. That's just the Aegis, but no more meta to work with. Ramses getting up a little pre-Blood Right action. Toss up. Silence onto Ana. This is going to be a nice kill for Outsiders, and they do get the position 1 Terrorblade. The question is, can they get this pesky puck? He's going to get his phase shift off and the orb.
Is under attack.
But getting chased by Ram, never mind. Ramsey sees some creep.
He's chasing
and,
some ogres there.
Yeah, gotta get those ogres.
He's chasing the grind. He's trying to.
All right,
get some
so
gold.
Outsiders feels like they. Were there any buybacks on that one? I don't think
No,
so.
that was just a really good fight. They killed the Terrorblade and the Aegis. I don't know how, but they managed to identify their win in the fight condition really well. Like usually when you play versus these Pucks and the Kodos, like, oh, we need to find Puck, we need to find Kodo. But instead, they just found that they could kill the Terrorblade twice. It's really smart by them.
He is on the river. I feel like I expected a save to come out from Wyvern, but I guess he's kind of getting zoned out.
He used it on the Earth Spirit.
Oh, yeah, setting
so
up for the Sky.
They sort of like baited this. Like they did cast themselves on Earth Spirit, did end up killing him, but the main focus of that fight was on Terrorblade. They saved
Yeah.
enough to kill him.
And I guess if he metas and you kill him and he respawns, like, you still got the meta. He still doesn't have meta, so you're cool with that either way.
I like GPK's adjustment as well. Instead of going for the Aqua Saber, he went for the BKB, and now he's going for the Dagon, which I'm not too sure he'll finish, but the idea I think is really good. I was thinking he could just go for the Aghanim Scepter, but maybe he thinks his team already has a lot of physical damage between the DP and Bloodseeker.
So obviously Dagon really good against these illusions. I mean, how much is it for the illusions versus just trying to get a pick-off kill with the Avatos?
Honestly, I don't think he should really use on illusions. Like, the cooldown's so long now. They sort of nerfed
Once
this
you get
item.
to Dagon 5.
No, the cooldown's the same.
Is it really?
Yeah, the cooldown doesn't decrease now on Dagon, which is why people don't upgrade it that much.
Interesting. Okay, learning a lot of things. You probably should read those cooldowns at some point.
But like,
Busy reading
this-
Aghanim shards.
Yeah, that's true.
The Dagon, it can push you over the edge versus like this Kodo, Wyvern, and Puck. Like you just barely don't have enough damage, and especially with this Veil and Skyrask Islands, it's like a lot of damage if
Yeah.
both are on him.
Honestly, late game Tiny with Ethereal Blade Dagon is like, it feels like it scales pretty well. It is one of the few heroes that did, like, the Dagon Ethereal Blade thing is not, it's not as much of a meme. Even just in general, but yeah, in this game, I think it's definitely because of the damage types. Like, they do not need physical damage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
DM showing off some of that physical damage with the Exorcism. GPK looking for an Ava, but
Radiant structures
not finding anybody. Fortifications pop, but it doesn't look like RNG are looking to defend this in any capacity.
scanning.
There's a fort from Outsiders now.
Structures are fortified.
Trying to trade tier 2 for tier 2.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, looks like Outsiders might have time to try to defend if they want, but the Exorcism's got to be getting low here. So it might just be a trade, like you said. So Outpost Control likely to swap places, although RNG don't really fully commit for the tier 2.
Dyer's top tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
I mean, if Outsiders wants to defend the tier 2, they have to, like, flip the entire map, which feels a little weird, but Roshan is on that side anyway, so maybe they will opt to do
Oh
it.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Roshan's a big boy in this game, actually. In most games, one would say.
I think they're pretty happy on RNG to just chip it down with illusions, slowly push the wave in. They have this Hex on Kodo. I don't think he showed it yet, so they're just planning on killing whoever comes here. If no one comes, the tower will just slowly die. So, ooh, Psalm escapes here, but more importantly, he got to push a couple of waves bottom. It's a big deal when you're not supposed to have control of some area of the map, and you can like sneak these waves. It gives you a lot of vision, and it sets up your next plays really well.
Dire's top tower.
Well, very, very even game as Anna now has a Scotty to couple with his Manta Dragonlance, and BKB's next on the menu. Dota win, the Dota plus win probability, favoring RNG by a bit.
Ramses is a halberd.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay.
Right.
Wow. So another build that's kind of saying that he doesn't feel like he really needs damage, which I suppose when you have a Skyrap in your team, that is almost always true.
I think it's a lot of it is DP. Like DM's having such a good game, and he's even getting to go for some Kaya Sanj. Like DP can carry this game, I think. Honestly, I'm not too sure. I don't play this hero that much, but I feel like when this hero gets really farmed, he does way too much damage. Like everything is just dying in the siphons. It's also a pretty good idea to have this halberd. I'm not too sure. Usually when you buy this item, you buy it a bit earlier. But if you can keep your DP alive, she gets some siphons off, like it can definitely win you a fight.
All right. I would assume that's the first one we've seen on a Bloodseeker this whole tournament, but...
The good news is, if it's a mistake, he can disassemble it and get a Sanj and Yasha.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
there
he
you
had
go.
that in his quick buy before, and I'm not too sure about the SMI this game.
And what do you make from the other components? A butterfly?
Butterfly.
Radiance.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
That's
then you
really
get the
good
Ags,
this game.
right?
Yeah.
And then you
Bloodseeker
can get
Ags,
reflected and
Really
give
good
Radiance
against
against your own
Terrorblade.
team. That's really
Sounds
strong.
Extremely strong.
Yeah. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah,
With
that's
Titan Sliver, nice item.
Yep. RNG would sure like to have that one on the side of TV.
Oh, good vision. They have a Hexer.
The illusions are there as the initiation onto Ramses, but instant GPK avalanche, and Kaka, he's just stuck in place thanks to the rupture. Toss onto the Cold Embrace target with the Mystic Flare there as well.
Man.
Curse is huge though, kind of buying time for the rest of their heroes to get out of dodge. Looks like RNG are doing just that, but Somnus, DM's actually the one doing the chasing on X Nova, but looks like that exorcism is not going to be put to great use as Roche still not quite up yet.
What if that's the play? If everybody does magic damage, then the curse does nothing. The
Wow, that's really smart.
The Death Prophet spirits, they don't go through
All right.
the curse.
I like that.
He got cursed by two guys and nothing happened.
Yeah, it looked like a massive one, but
Yeah, it did. It was pathetic.
it was. Does he have Shard on Ramses? No. Do you think that's something he's going to opt? I mean, we've been seeing this literally every game,
I think
feel
he'll
like.
buy it after Bash for this game. Honestly, this show's really weird because all your items are so good that you don't know when to purchase your also Imba Shard.
Yeah.
Any order of them is good, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have Mjolnir, you're going to have BKB, you're going to have Basher, and you're going to have Shard, maybe Blink somewhere in there.
Dire are scanning.
Somnus. Gonna try to take out Yamich. Get down pretty low, but will live. But the instant counter initiation from GPK leads to the kill onto X Nova. And without that Wyvern, looks like RNG have to get the hell out of here. But Chalice is gonna fall. Big kill there for Outsiders and actually force the buyback from the Wyvern. So X Nova now has Curse and the Blink available. So I'm not even sure Outsiders can go for Roche without this kill on the Wyvern.
Outsiders have played the last few minutes really well. They've just been camping their vision, entering the jungle, because they know that RNG want to play for this Roshan that can be spawning. I'm honestly a bit surprised by how RNG is playing the map, though. I feel like this first smoke was good. It's a bit on execution that they don't versus Bloodseeker, but they have Kato and a Terrorblade. I feel like Kato could even think about picking up the Shard, and you can start recalling Terrorblade illusions all over the map. Like, I feel like this bottom tower should constantly be being pressured. It shouldn't be easy for Outsiders to play the map at all.
Would you agree, Aoi, AUI, that's your real name, with the idea that the bottom side of the map is now just the wilderness? Nobody wants to be down there. The map is split around the middle lane and not the river. The river is a lie. Everything's about Roshan.
Yes?
Oh, we have the coil onto two. Somnus, he's going to get instant Avatos. He's extremely low, but Kaka jumps in with that BKB, kicks away the Marcy, and he might be the sacrifice, although getting healed to a high degree thanks to the Cold Embrace and the Illuminate. He is ruptured. He's getting bashed by Ramses, but you can see Anna doing a ton of damage to Ramses in the meantime with that Scotty, keeping him in play, and he's actually going to go down to the Waning Rift as well as Anna pops the BKB, now turning his sights onto DM. Just man mode deluxe here. DP versus Terrorblade, but you can see the curse comes out of the last moment here. Double kill for Somnus. And DM is going to go down to the triple kill from Somnus, who's just continuing to absolutely destroy this fight.
Stands there.
And GPK He's going to get Yules, and the Waning Rift secures an ultra kill for the Puck, and a full team wipe for RNG. And would you look at that? Roche is now up.
That's like the ideal Terrorblade fight, right? Like you literally pop meta and you just stand there and you hit them for 20 seconds. And RNG did a really good job in this fight. They sort of let the Terrorblade frontline. He's really tanky with this BKB and Scotty, and Somnus, he just went around picking everyone off. They just didn't have enough to deal with the Puck.
Yeah, he's 10-0 this game against Tiny plus Skywrath. I feel like that's pretty damn hard as a Puck.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even feel like the Yules has saved him from a silence. Like, he's just so hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it seems good in this game, but for regular Yules reasons. Like, it's just delaying the fight.
Which is, now that you say that, I really like that point, because if RNG can sort of delay the burst from outsiders, then the fights sort of look like this, where someone's just picking them apart. So getting it for the silence, of course it's good, you know? You don't want to die to some random silence and lose the game, but just being able to delay the fight like that, setting up for Terrorblade to hit for so long, is really smart as well.
Yeah, Ramses trying to defend this tier 2 tower, which is basically dead at this point. The Rupture comes out onto Chalice, who's going to get Cold Embrace. GPK with the BKB, but they're just going to leave him to the Mystic Flare. So nice pick off here from Outsiders to see if they can get some more, even despite going against this Aegis, but doesn't look like that is what their goal is right now. But the Shard, if I'm not mistaken, the Shard went to Ana. So he has Demon Zeal.
He for sure did not buy that one.
What are your thoughts on it? Because Somnus had it originally in his inventory, didn't consume it, obviously.
The Puck Shard is not good. The Wyvern Shard's okay. It's pretty good, but I don't think you want to give it to your 5. And
I thought,
personally, I think
if anything,
they should give it to Caudle. The Earth Spirit one used to be sort of good because it would give you more stones. But now it doesn't give you more stones, and the stones recharge sort of fast.
No.
Yeah, I should probably read.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bug.
You cannot read
bug.
this stuff. This stuff just gets added into the game randomly. So there's nothing you can do.
Okay.
But I think the Terrorblade one actually is pretty good. I would prefer the Caudle one because I think how they can play the map's very good. The problem is that he doesn't have a Satanic, and he's not going for one. So when you press this item, when you press a spell, I feel like you just miss a lot of HP.
So is it more for... I mean, if you were to get it in normal capacity, is it more for farming than fighting?
No, it's good because you can fight without meta, right? Like, you can just pop in, you run max move speed, and you just start hitting people. You're very tanky with Scotty and sometimes with Satanic. The thing is, I'm not too sure who can buy it, but I'd really like them to have a Vlads. Like, I think instead of his eggs, maybe Kaka could have gone for the Vlads to synergize with this TV.
He could still build it into a Wraith Pact.
That is true, actually, and Wraith Pact would be... I mean, the item is very good versus DP and Skywrath and stuff. He's upgrading to Dagon on GPK.
Yeah, he is.
He's
going F-Blade Dagon. That's the build, dude. That's a great build. I love that one.
So
it's just a double down on the idea that they need to like win the fights by bursting someone, right? I think if this is the idea, it's pretty good. Like, it goes with his game plan, and I like it when players itemize to solve problems or like go along with the game plan. So just saying like, oh, this is my build. Yeah. Like, I don't think there's a tiny build that you usually do in your pubs.
No. Well, soon enough.
I mean, you know, people might build the tag.
Some of us.
But those people would also not have a BKB, so.
That is very accurate. I mean, how many times have we seen Somnus on low HP at the beginning of a fight, and he lives? So having a Dagon 5 could be the answer.
Doesn't seem to be working so far, but
no,
I also feel like there's been a bit of a disconnect between Hakoda and GPK in this game, where Hakoda gets the ult off on like on a Cold Embrace rather than on the Avalanche Toss, and I feel like if they combo together, they can kill almost anybody, even still.
I mean, I think sort of the problem for Outsiders is that the fights they've taken that they've won, they've sort of been able to find a core from RNG and burst them. But a lot of these fights, like how the Outsiders heroes work is they want to have these bursty fights, but they don't have anyone who can really sit on the front line. Like DP can sort of, especially with this 2 plate mails, one for the low sword, one just in his inventory, but you don't really want him in the front line because he can die. So that means that they're not able to wait and pick their target because they won't have vision because no one's frontlining.
Well, Anna's Aegis will be expiring in just over a minute, as we have a smoke from RNG.
They saw 2 TPs back, so they're just going to find anyone they can here.
Kaka actually does hit Yamage, kicks him away. Anna in the area does get the reflection off, but it's not going to connect, it looks like. So
well, that was underwhelming.
Outsider, I mean, the rebound is global, remember?
I should have remembered that was Marcy that got caught.
Yep.
How would you nerf Marcy?
That's a
Howie?
great
How would you
question.
I
nerf
think
Marcy?
her first spell should not stun.
So slow.
Yeah, like Earth Spirit, you know?
Okay.
That's
a
it?
pretty big nerf.
That's a big nerf, yeah. Is that it?
I mean, they should do something. Like, I feel like all her spells have something that if they weren't on the spell at all, it would still be a good spell. Like the W doesn't have to give this move sweeper boost, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
The E doesn't have to apply to 2 heroes when you use it on someone else, but you know, it just sort of does.
Yeah, that is true.
That could be a one unit target, yeah.
Like it could, like LCW, right? Like compare that to Marcy's.
Dire's middle tower.
Oh, don't get me started on LCW. That thing needs to be...
Oh my god, what is wrong with you? He hates it.
Yeah, that's just me though.
She's
Okay.
not a support hero, that's a support ability.
That's right.
Not if you only cast on yourself.
That's true. Outsiders.
right.
Trying to get some map control back. And Ramses, he's actually not going
Still
for the
no
Abyssal
shard.
Blade. Yeah, he's going for the old refresher, so. And you're right, yeah, no shard yet. So he has the 2 ruptures at level 25. Got there pretty damn fast, I have to say. The New Age Dota just, do you ever pinch yourself, AUI? Like, when you were playing at TI5, what level would you be in this game? Well, then again, you played COD. You get so many levels, actually.
I mean, not this high level, but there is a lot of farm on the map now.
Yeah.
He would steal kills too, all the time.
It's true. That's why I got kicked.
That's the it's the only reason that Visage was remotely viable for you. So the kill steals.
Now, RNG, despite not much fighting happening in the last few minutes, is still growing their lead. 7k advantage. They could just wait for the second Roche, which could be the game winner for them if they're able to secure it, but GPK, is that the Dagon 5?
That's the Dagon 5, boys. We
All
got
right.
a full Dagon 5 on Tiny.
Is that still the most expensive item in the game?
Yes,
Probably. Is it more Wind Waker?
it's more than Wind Waker.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really know why you would upgrade to Dagon 5. I feel like...
What do you mean?
Do you see the scaling on this item? Like, maybe
Yeah.
the cooldown went down, but it's so long. Like, I feel like you could have E-Blade plus Dagon 1, and you do way more damage and have utility.
Yeah, but it makes a much louder noise when you
Does
use
it?
Yeah, it does.
So the noise gets louder.
The
Yeah.
noise is
Level
louder,
up.
the particles are bigger, and
I mean,
the
that's really
icon
important.
changes
So
with
now I
each level.
understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So-
really big.
It's just personal gratification.
You gotta think about
Yeah,
these.
that's what these guys think about. They're like, how cool can my Dagon sound while I'm playing for this major to allow me to,
Yeah,
play
of
at TI
course.
for $40 million.
That's
Now,
what GPK stands for. Gratification personal.
Dire's
What's
middle
the
tower.
K.
no, that's why you're on this panel. Make god-awful jokes. Kaka, though, we can click on the Earth Spirit. He is only 1,000 from Ags. This is like the most terrifying Ags in the game. If you can just jump in, get close to anybody, turn them to stone, and kick them a ridiculous distance away, that's better than Walrus Kick if you're able to pull it off.
Yeah, but it's got such a small cast
It
range.
does.
That's the only issue with it. It's hard to pull off, but I mean, he's been hitting the rolls this game. So if anybody can do it, it's Kaka.
I didn't notice this, but the TB also picked up the Paladin Sword, which allows him to use the shard pretty well.
Oh.
I like what RNG are doing here. Like, they could run into enemy jungle, you know, take a fight, look at outsiders, but instead they're just pressuring the map. They're always going to make outsiders respond to them. Now outsiders have to spend all these TPs. The moment they see this Blood Circuit TP, they're going to go into enemy jungle, D-ward, and have full map control. Or they can take a fight here. Like, they get all the options.
They're raxing with these TP illusions.
Yep, they are doing quite a bit of damage. The melee rack's essentially at half HP.
Ramses really
we'll
needs
heal.
a shard, I feel like.
Yeah.
Those... Oh, he bought the Skadi, actually, instead of the thing.
I mean, he is pretty damn farmed. There's the jump in from Kaka, but the instant avalanche into the BKB was going to get ruptured. They do find Kokoda in the end, as the buyback now comes out from Kokoda himself. Damage taken out very quickly, but Ramses focusing on Chalice will be successful in taking him out. And of course, Wyvern is a huge kill. The bash is there, so no curse comes out, but the buybacks do come through for basically everybody in this game, it feels like. And Anna, very low on HP. Doesn't have his Sunder up. He's just going to get Avatos, and no Anna available for RNG. As Ramses very annoyed with this puck, and he's actually going to go down to the overwhelming blink from Somnus, but GPK does get revenge, and that turns into a double kill for him. And I believe that's the first death for Somnus in this game, if I'm not mistaken. But a very back-and-forth fight that's apparently not over. The curse finally comes out after the buyback, just to slow down the rest of Outsiders.
That was an insane fight.
Yeah, I'm super impressed by Outsiders. I feel like the map is hard for them to play. Honestly, the scale sort of, in my opinion, favors RNG, but they're just finding these fights that end up really good for them. They're playing the map really well. Even though they TP bottom, they like run right back to their rewards, and even though they're like losing a hero at the start of the fight, they still win these fights. I mean, honestly, I'm not too sure who won that fight in the end, but I think Outsiders did. They got like a 12 streak on Puck, right? It's probably in their favor.
Yeah. I mean, they were also getting pressured right before, too.
They were down like 10k, and if you look at the live, it is 5k.
Yeah, actually, that was a huge fight for them. You're right. I didn't even notice, but Wyvern bought back in that fight, so
yeah.
It's big.
And Kaka TP'd out. He got Rupture and just TP. I thought he would TP a little closer. He TP'd back to the fountain, so he just wanted to disengage completely.
Yeah.
So he wasn't available until this moment now.
And he comes back without BKB, too.
I think in that fight, the Kato used his Linken's on the Earth Sphere is TPing out as well, and then he died because he didn't have a Linken Sphere up.
For the Skyrat, did they go? What are the talents they picked? The Ancient Seal feels like a super low cooldown.
Yeah,
he took that one. That one's really strong.
100% uptime on that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Does that work against status resistance? Is that one of the ones?
No, I think status resist affects Skyrat's sounds.
I
don't know.
Just checking now. Just checking.
I mean,
question everything in life now.
You cannot be certain of anything in Dota. Even when the tool says something, you still cannot be certain. So
That's right.
you have to check everything, and then you have to do it again every time there's a patch.
Even a hot fix, you just got to double check. That's Exorcism in the pit. This is the third Roche with Aghanim Scepter available.
It's always the Ags now.
Yes, thank God for that. As RNG, they're going to scout it out with the Orb. This is a really important Roche, as there's the coil. It's only going to hit one, though. And there's the BKB from Ana in the meta, focusing on Ramses. Not able to take him out quite yet. He's just limping away, but finally drops on the backside. Will buy back instantly, though. And Ana getting quite low. He's going to get cold embrace, but they have enough magic damage to rip right through him. He does have buyback, but again, no meta to work with, as Yamich gets a nice dispose onto the Wyvern to that low ground. X-Nova is mega dead. And Outsiders now outnumbering RNG. Another beautiful Avatos back into the river. And a second toss to follow it up with. And that is another death on RNG, which means Outsiders should be able to snag themselves this Aghanim Scepter and third Roche. Of course, Somnus is still up, and I want to make sure that he doesn't have any crazy shenanigans to get in the pit, but this is going to be a freebie for Outsiders now. Huge fight.
I'm not sure about these TPs from Kaka. He keeps getting ruptured.
What? Why did they give Ags to Death Prophet? What?
What?
No one else can really take it.
Skyrath Ags. Come on, guys. Come on.
Don't
now.
give your 5 eggs.
Come on now.
Supports might not even be humans, you know? Like, just let them be.
Don't you want to see Bloodseeker Ags, Chris?
Yeah,
The Bloodseeker eggs.
what about the Marcy Ags?
Yeah.
Unleash.
I don't even know what Marcy eggs does.
There is one. It does
is.
exist.
It does.
I mean, I think that one's good when you have the 25. If you take that 25. That's how I've been told. But again, Outsiders, just find these really good fights. I think how Ramses is talking these fights has to be really good. Like, he dies in this fight, but he's baiting them really far in. He's probably talking about his buyback for this Roshan fight.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, if you trade me for Terrorblade, I can buy back. And if he buys back, he doesn't have meta. And they are able to secure the Roshan for it. And even though he had to use buyback, getting this Aegis and Eggs is more than worth it. They're up 8k now.
Yeah.
It was like 10k, not like, what, like 6 minutes ago?
This is a 20k turnaround in the last few minutes. And like you said, any transformation hero buyback just feels awful. Even though he did have it, no point in expending. And now 73% win probability for Outsiders, who still have that Aegis on Ramses. Question is, how good is the high ground defense from RNG? Or are we even at that point yet? I mean, it's 10k, but it's 45 minutes in the game, so I feel like they still have a lot of room to grow.
Terrorblade's actually going for the NKB now. Their high ground defense is pretty good. They have like, they will have this Earth Spirit eggs. I
thought he had this.
He had the MKB.
Yeah, he had it like 5
Terrorblade
minutes.
had the MKB.
Why was it on the courier? Was he going to sell it for a satanic?
He just bought an MKB.
No,
Did
he
have
definitely got this.
No,
like
he
5
had an
minutes ago.
MKB.
Yeah.
Well, he has bought an MKB.
What?
Wait, can MKB be disassembled?
No.
Are you sure he had
so
an MKB?
confused.
I'm
I saw
positive
it on the
he
screen.
had it. It was on the screen.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have an MKB? Because if we both...
Did he sell his MKB before?
I
wish-
don't know.
Is that what happened to the gold?
I feel like because...
Okay.
So Alp said he has it.
Yeah.
Because he just bought it. I swear, I watched his courier go and buy it.
Yeah,
I saw
okay.
him
It was
buy
no. You're right. It was on his courier. I think maybe he was considering selling the MKB for a satanic or something like that.
No. Like,
Up the rolling, Kaka with the BKB, and he's gonna get ruptured immediately. So if he tries to actually TP out, but the curse comes out. And the right clicks from Ana doing quite a bit of damage on the outskirts of this fight as GPK is his target. It's a 1v1. This is going to be an easy one for Ana. And all they get in retribution is Kaka. He's going to buy back into the game instantly. But Ana getting completely focused now in that cold embrace. Do they have enough magic damage to go through him? They do. Double kill for Ramses with still the Aegis intact. And DM, he's got the cheese available if he wants to use it. This will be a dieback on the Kaka, and indeed it is. 110 seconds without your Earth Spirit. Pretty big deal. Somnus able to dispel that silence. The fight might end here, although he's going to use the Overwhelming Blink to go back on top of Ramses, who's slowed to a crawl. Yamich, his arms aren't long enough to get that disposed off this time. He's going to be solar bound.
Oh, Somnus is in.
Yep. He's trying to do the puck things here. But I don't know if it's going to lead to anything more than just wasting time.
He's doing it successfully. Wasting time is
exactly what he wants.
The name of the game for Puck. Yeah, he does not have a TP, though, and they're going to see that on the next wave if they click. So he's kind of stuck out here.
So he has that flicker to be able to dispel, too. What's that?
You're still trying to figure out the MKB?
Because I feel like Terrorblade is really suffering from not having lifesteal. Like, I think a lot of these fights, if he had a Vlad's, or he was able to go for Satanic or something, like, he would have sustained through these fights. They're very close, and it feels like because he has these items, at the end of his life, he just sort of has to run. He could have been, like, sort of manning up at the end of a lot of these. I'm not sure.
Well, DM about to buy a refresher. Ramses has one now, as DM is being poked a bit by Somnus, but nothing will come of it.
So, Rams just doesn't want to buy the shard then, right? Like, he's had a lot of gold.
I think he's forgotten.
I think he thinks that the shard will appear on the 5th Roshan. He's just playing for that. I've never seen a 5th Roshan, but
I don't
surely
know if
the
he forgot,
shard.
but he might have some idea. Like, there's not that many tanky heroes on rating. I mean, I would buy the shard. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely odd.
All right, let's go back to this
carry at this
MKB
level,
thing.
so.
Let's go back to this MKB. So he sold something. What did he have there before? Was it a Hurricane
He sold a
Pike?
Hurricane Pike now.
Yeah, just now.
And he
sold a
it
Pike for Satanic.
for Satanic.
I feel like
Not
now-
the most
I
efficient
mean, I think it's
gold.
correct to have the Satanic instead of the Dragonlance, and I feel like he shouldn't have upgraded to Hurricane Pike, but I'm not too sure if you're supposed to sell it. Like, he could just sell the boots instead.
Yeah, I was thinking he would get rid of the boots instead of the Hurricane Pike. That's... No.
I mean, Ana is an item selling god, so what do we
Two-time
know?
TI winner, so can't really question
Yeah, you've only
that.
won one, Curtis.
Yeah,
Idiot.
noob.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
And you picked techies, for God's
Yeah,
sake.
come on. You won with techies. That doesn't even count.
Actually, I don't even know. Did you play techies in that finals, or was it banned
No, it got
every game?
banned.
Yeah, that's too
We
bad.
That
played
still
it.
counts.
We played it for C-Deck in scrims before the tournament, and we thought they sucked because they would just run into my mines and die.
Yeah, that's
Apparently
what
they were
happened,
really good, but they couldn't play versus tech.
I see. Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
a lot of people, to be honest. I feel
Yeah.
like nobody can play into techies.
Dire's
Well,
middle
12K
tower
lead
is
now
under
for
attack.
outsiders, and the question remains: are we waiting for another Roche? This will be Roche number 4. We won't know for a couple minutes, but it feels like fighting around that time might be beneficial.
Somehow I feel like this Terrorblade just does no damage. Like, he doesn't have a crit, and he's versus... I feel like DM's itemization was really good. He got a lot of armor really fast, which is bug for me, so it just looks like he has 14 armor for some reason, but
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
higher than that.
On the production, it looks correctly though.
Okay.
14
So he's
plus
like 40
25.
armor or whatever, and he just is not dying in these fights. I think Ana's itemization might have needed to be a bit more like Satanic plus damage items. The Hurricane Pike plus Manta combo ends up being like 10k damage for not anything. Like 10k net worth for no damage at
Yeah.
all.
He's going for a refresher next, so opting to just have higher uptime on Metamorphosis, because I do feel like they're getting punished by not having meta. At least earlier they were, but I don't know. He's kind of dying with meta now. Like his supports are just dying in the fights. He's using his BKB, and then after the BKB, it just seems like Ana's just dying.
So I know you brought this up as a joke, but do you think not going the shard on purpose because of curse is actually a thing?
Does it affect allies?
I would assume it would. Pure damage against
Only when
allies
you're
sounds
blood
pretty good,
rage,
especially
I have
tiny.
no idea.
But then wouldn't you not get, with the same logic, wouldn't you not want to get Basher? Because you bash your allies
But
too,
they're
right?
already
What if you
stunned.
just buy
Okay.
no damage items, and then the curse doesn't do anything?
That's what I was
GPK
saying.
That's
has
what we're
Dagon.
going for, right?
That's what I was saying with the Heaven's Halberd.
Yeah.
You know the cool thing about the Halberd is that, well, obviously TB, you can disarm him, so the MKB doesn't.
That's really good.
Yeah, there's that. but he can disassemble it. Let me go back to this for a second here.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why Honest having this identity crisis. He's like, should I sell this MKB? Should I buy a second one? Because he could just disassemble and build Sanjin Yasha, which would be awful at this point.
What's your point?
I stopped listening when he said buy 2 MKBs.
I don't know what he said. I was listening.
Yeah, you'll get used to it, Curtis. Appreciate you coming on here. But yeah, Anna, like you said, working on the late game refresher just to make sure his meta is always up. And I mean, this next Rosh is going to be a big deal. That's going to be a refresher shard and another Ags. And pretty soon we're going to have
Ooh, they found
more of the lobby here with Aghanim Scepters. DM trying to defend there. But going to see the coil, actually. Kaka breaking GPK out of the coil. Nicely done. Pops the BKB, but that's physical damage coming from Anna. Very nice pick off from RNG, but obviously GPK at this stage of the game does have buyback. Yamich, he gets off the dispose. There's the buyback from GPK, but Anna turns into meta form. Yamich, oh, wait, did he get sundered? That was the Sunder reflect from the Lotus Orb. Very unfortunate for Anna. He's ruptured now, has that Satanic, but he's going to get bursted down to the ground. 100 seconds, but he does have buyback. But again, we've talked about the transformation heroes not wanting to expend it. That Lotus Orb completely won the fight for Outsiders.
Silence.
He still has Sundered. It's 6-second cooldown, so I'm not actually sure exactly what happened. This game has been quite confusing, I have to say.
Oh, he doesn't have the... Okay, good attempt there.
Outsiders,
Yeah, what the hell was that? That was like a
did you use
reflective something.
I think that was him using Demon Zeal, right? The sound?
No,
Or
maybe.
did something get reflected?
I think he Demon Zealed.
All right, we
get to watch it again. Yeah, because this was... Okay, this is much earlier.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. I know the Rupture got reflected. So he's stunned.
Yeah, right here.
Rupture reflected.
Lotus. Okay.
Feared. Okay, so no.
Absolutely not.
So he has not used Thunder, right?
He's not used Thunder.
Hitting the cursed target.
Yeah, that
Good
will be a
attempt.
Suns fan aneurysm there. You'll get used to it, Howie.
Yeah, it happens. It's all good. That's what happens when you get old.
Yeah. Oh, there's the 4th Roshan. There
Yes.
he is. And it is being taken.
They might give this Aghanim to the Skywrath now. That's your dream,
Samus
right?
is getting
Samus is
racks, though.
raxing.
I'm not sure how much this matters, but they're going to TP back GPK. And the BKB from Kaka to roll away, but a nice block off. Do they have the stun through BKB? Oh,
Yes,
they
they
do! The BKB ends early, and Kaka is dead for 90. And Outsiders still securing the 4th Rosh.
I don't think this Rax would have even mattered that much either if they do get it. At this point in the game, 53 minutes, like we're 7 minutes away from tier 5 neutral items, you know? 1 lane of Rax, whatever.
Why did you have to say that?
I'm sorry, I jinxed it. I did jinx it.
All right, who gets his Ags? I doubt it's going to be Bloodseeker.
Tiny or Skywrath? I feel like Tiny doesn't really use it. Right?
Tiny's
Oh,
is-
did he give it
gotta
to
be-
DP or did he
No,
buy
DP
it?
He
already
had
had.
it. Yeah, he had his. He
Gotta
got the
be
other
Oh,
one.
DP. DM is so farmed. It's
His-
40k net worth
That,
this game.
yeah, that counts towards his net worth, I think, if it's in his backpack.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, but it's-
Okay.
Surely he's walking to Skywrath.
I would hope
Surely.
so. I mean, I don't know.
Looking for GPK, maybe. Did he give it up? No.
He's still holding it in the backpack.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
There we
Okay,
go.
so...
It is a very good Aghanim. Are you sure? It doesn't count. Like, it's still 40k net worth.
Oh, you're right.
It's just lying to me now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm used
Okay,
to it.
well, let's see.
Another aneurysm here.
Let's see when he consumes it. I know it does when you consume
Yeah,
it.
it does when you consume it. I think the Raxus sort of matter this game because the wave shove is like if the situations were reversed, like RNG was up 16k and Outsiders took a Rax, they have like Terrorblade, Huddle Puck, these heroes that can shove these waves. I think the only way RNG can, or the way RNG wants to play this game is off these waves, so the Raxes are important for that.
Dire's bottom barracks.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. They don't really have an equivalent hero to push out.
Yeah, Somnus is getting racks. It's going to be fortified. See how much they care about just one set of racks at, like you said, the 55-minute mark.
Maybe Outsiders just goes down mid.
Oh,
Nope, they're
going to get sheeped, actually, and this is going to be the death of Somnus. Great reaction from Outsiders. He does have buyback, of course, but the lead is growing. And not just Aegis, Refresher Shard, Ags, and all that garbage, but 20k on top in terms of just the pure farm discrepancy.
They're going to force the puck buyback here.
It's down to a 60-40, though, even though the lead has grown in the last few minutes for Outsiders. Exorcism now onto the high ground. Level 29 Death Prophet.
Yeah, he has 3 Exos, 3 BKBs.
Yep, he's getting right-clicked by Ana, though. Rupture comes out onto Ana. She's going to sidestep the Blood Right. So DM
Radiant's middle tower.
eating up these illusions pretty nicely. And this is going to be the death of the tower. But Kaka, he's going to kick DM back into the base. The BKB popped from him instantly. Trying to focus down Ana. He's dead! 100 seconds, no Terrorblade. It was a nice curse, but again, not a whole lot of damage to follow it up with. And GPK dies, or sorry, the Earth Spirit dies. Kaka buys back into the game. And Outsiders are more than healthy. Now in a 5v4, and that's not including
Terrorblade
the cheese
one
and
bounty
Aegis.
rune for buyback. I think someone needs to TP to the shrine right now. Yeah, here's maybe he's going.
Yeah, so getting the bounty rune so he can get his buyback, but no meta. Unless he has that finished refresher.
He bottled the Daedalus there. He felt like he lacked damage, but
Okay.
now he doesn't have meta, so I think they're giving up this Rax as well. They'll fight the third one.
Yeah, so first set of racks is down. Trying to find Somnus. That would be a game winner if they can get him. He's in the trees, just trying to delay this as much as possible. Oh, they might find the Wyvern instead. The Silence with the Mystic Flare, and down goes X-Nova. Buys back, though, with Ana in addition. So Outsiders, let's see if they want to stick around. Melee Rax is in their favor, attempting to disengage, but Ramsey's just slow to a crawl. A nice coil onto 2, but again, this is just the Aegis.
Oh,
This
Ana?
goes onto Ana. This will be a dieback for him. He's going to get demolished. 125 seconds. The Daggons just ripped him a new one. DM and company looking to take game 1 in style. After being down about 10k, they have flipped this upside down. Although, you can see, Somnus has a lot to say about this. He has a Dagon of his own, and DM getting quite low. So Outsiders might need to reset a bit, but you can see the Mystic Flare with the Aghanim Scepter not doing much because that was on a creep as well as a hero, but they get the kill nonetheless as GGs are called. So Outsiders take game 1 in very damn entertaining game, I have to say, gentlemen.